What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome. I am the Crypto Crow. It's currently about 3:47 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I'm going to keep it simple today because I've got kind of basically a basic message that I want to get out to people, and let some of you guys that are getting your notifications pop in. A lot of stuff going on in the crypto space. I've been researching so much about NFTs and my own project. I'm actually getting ready. I want to hire another artist because I've got a couple different series of NFTs that I'd like to do, and I'm like super excited about it. I do also want to remind, like, if somebody out there legitimately has an estate on the sandbox, hit me up on Telegram. It's @upstager. Beware of all my impersonators all over the place. I will, if I'm talking serious business with somebody, I'll go into a live video chat through Zoom or something like that, to prove that I'm who I say I is. But yeah, I do want an estate on the sandbox. I've been trying for probably over a year to get my hands on some, and I just keep failing miserably. I don't know. Maybe I should just take my licks and move on. Yeah, so, but I've got some really cool ideas for some art, some things that I've always wanted to do myself, but I don't have the time. So I figure, what's the next best thing? Well, I'll hire some artists and promote the hell out of them as best I can, launch some of my own NFTs of art that I've paid them to do, that I own, and kind of help them, help me create some new stuff that actually has value. To be honest, I feel like a lot of these NFTs today are garbage. I mean, they just are. It's like people throwing some crap to a picture and then charging people Ethereum for it. And I get it, it's fun, and you know, any kind of asset could establish some sort of demand. But I think when it comes to realistic NFT art, I feel like true art makes you feel something. Whether it pisses you off, it makes you laugh, it makes you think, it sends a message, whatever. And a lot of the stuff that I'm seeing in the NFT market is just a lot of gimmick type crap that like doesn't do any of that. But you know, I've got some cool ideas that I want to do, and you know, some of it is going to be a little more complicated than others, but you know, we'll have to see. So I don't expect I'm going to get, you know, 2,000 or 3,000 live viewers in this title of this video. So I basically just want to send a message to a lot of you guys out there that I'm seeing so many more Cardano Moonbois videos. All right. And while it's fun, I want to paint a picture for a lot of you guys, okay? Because I have a problem with some of what I'm seeing. Yes, obviously, I'm insanely bullish on Cardano, and I think that to some degree the sky is the absolute limit when it comes to Cardano's growth. But we have to remember that Cardano is still very early, okay? Cardano is still very early. And I see a lot of YouTubers out there who have shunned Cardano for years now. Some have trolled it, some have talked trash about it in different ways, or they had a bag of something else, so they're basically trying to push Cardano down and raise something else up. Some people say I do the same thing. I'm always pushing Ethereum down in favor of Cardano because I hold a bag, you know, that kind of thing. And I get some of that, but I'm seeing that because of Cardano's, you know, recent milestone achievements and the fact that they've basically been proving time and time again that this is legit and this is happening, and there's so much utility and there's so much use potential for Cardano on a global scale. And now ultimately I'm seeing a lot of these same YouTubers buy big bags of Cardano. And because they bought in late, because they haven't been supporting it all this time, because they haven't really been, you know, they're just pumping whatever flavor of the week, you know, it's like some of it annoys me, truly it does. But now they're basically making these crazy ass claims of, you know, Cardano to you know, $50, $100, $75. I think I saw one like Cardano at $1,000. Just like insane Moonbois garbage. And, you know, those of you that follow me on a regular basis know I tend to keep it as real as I can. And I would love to be able to say, oh, Cardano's going to $50 or $100, because then I would like just buy an island. You know, I would buy a castle somewhere. I would probably launch 10 different charities, hire people to run them, and I would take over the world in different ways. Okay, if Cardano were to hit $100, all right, probably not. It still wouldn't be enough money to take over the world, but it'd be nice. But the thing of it is a lot of these people, I consider a lot of YouTubers semi-predatory. And I hate to say that because I am a YouTuber, but I feel like a lot of these guys just don't really give two shits about you. Like, they really don't. I mean, their idea is they're going to buy in, they're going to use their power on YouTube, they're going to pump the hell out of something, and then they're going to dump it on your face. And they're not going to think twice about it. I know many YouTubers out there that are consistently doing paid work for companies and not disclosing that. And it's just like, I see so many things and I'm like, man, you know, it doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter what space you're in. There's always, there's always a reason to kind of watch your back. Right. And I'm like, I feel it necessary. Like, I just watched another one of these today and I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to go live and talk about this for a minute, because it's kind of getting crazy. And I think, you know, listen, Cardano's going to do very well. I mean, until the peak of this market, I'm sure it's going to continue growing and doing extremely well. There are a lot of major milestones we're still waiting on. And once those hit, we're going to continue seeing Cardano pump. And we're going to see Cardano pump primarily on a speculative level. And we're going to be seeing that partially because of all of these Moonbois convincing people that don't know any better that you're going to buy something right now for $1 and it's going to go to $100 in the next year. Who wouldn't buy into some of that? A lot of people do, and they are. And the thing of it is I don't want the expectations to be that extreme, because it's bullshit. It's flat bullshit. Cardano's not going to hit $100 this year, folks. It's very likely not going to hit $50 this year, folks. It's just not going to happen. And if I'm wrong, then we all rejoice. Everybody's wealthier than all get out and everybody's happy. But this shit, it's not going to happen. It's just not, in my opinion, it's not fundamentally realistic this year. Could Cardano hit maybe 35 to 50 bucks over the next bull cycle? Absolutely. I think it's possible. But a lot of that is going to be dependent on what happens throughout the next bull term, right? And so right now, I think I'm just kind of getting irritated by seeing a lot of these Moonbois YouTubers who are jumping on the bandwagon late and then trying to get the same kind of returns that somebody would if they bought in at 2 to 5 cents when nobody cared about it. And to me, that's telling on some of the YouTubers, because I'm like, if you're actively researching and you're actively following what's really happening in the market, and you're not just pumping the next keyword that's going to get you views on YouTube, you'd already likely be involved in Cardano. You wouldn't be jumping on the bandwagon late and then telling the world it's going to pump to $100. That's just insane. And when I see that now, I unsubscribe, because I feel like I can't, and this is just my own personal thing, and I feel kind of like, not necessarily whistleblowy, but I'm like, those are the people that I can't touch. So, okay, I gotta deal with this. Hold on. I appreciate the positive sentiment, but when you're spamming chat like that, you gotta go, because it's just kind of silly. And I hate it when people flood my chat with anything. It's not cute, and you know, you just gotta go. And it looks like there are a lot of bots doing it. So cool. I don't know if these are people with long trades setting up bots. I don't know what they're doing, but that's the thing. Oh my gosh. Oh wow, they came prepared. Oops. And they're just, it's just disruptive. All right, so I guess we have to wait now until the next round of bots pop in and start spamming their crap. So here's the thing. I want everybody to be educated. I want you guys to, and this is also the big thing where, as I feel like our role as YouTubers, we should be really trying to educate you on the fundamentals and the whys of what's happening, not necessarily just what we think is going to happen. Because when you do that, I think to a large degree, you're just blowing bullshit into people's faces and expecting them to just suck it up and enjoy the high. And it's like, that to me is irresponsible. And that also to me just tells me that you really just don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Quite frankly, you just don't, because you haven't put in any time. I'm not even talking about anyone particular. I see the chat. I'm not talking about anyone. Yes, I know I touch my nose a lot because I need to basically trim my beard. The more I talk, the more my mustache tickles my nose, and I'm like, I should have shaved before I went live. But it's just a struggle. I gotta turn this fan on. It's just kind of a struggle for me when I see a lot of this stuff, because of course I'd love to say, Cardano's going to $100, but it's not. And it's just bullshit to think it's going to. And so when I tell everybody, do your own research, I mean it. Do your own research. Dive into a lot of the papers associated with Cardano. Go into the milestones. Read what's coming. Understand the fundamentals of the project so that when you see a lot of this crap all over the place, a lot of like what I consider kind of YouTube whoring, you can look at it and be like, okay, you don't really know what you're talking about. You're just throwing out something because you want some more subscribers. And it's something that I've always kind of had a problem with, and it's getting really bad now. It's getting really bad, and I understand a lot of this. In some sense, it's driving the price up. But this is the thing: people that don't understand the fundamentals of a project and buy in because of some YouTube whore saying it's going to $100 or whatever the case may be, are also the first people to dump it at the first sign of anything outside of the ordinary, because they're not buying in for the fundamentals. They're buying in for the FOMO and the speculative potential of it. And that's what causes a lot of these market cycles, because as early adopters, we're buying in on fundamentals while speculators with weak hands, following the advice of morons who don't really know what they're talking about, they're acting on that. And that's what's creating a lot of these problems, because we can't achieve true adoption without being able to understand fully what we're even buying into and why. And the more people that we have buying into something that understand fully why they bought into it, outside of just listening to some person on YouTube talk about how much they love it, because the same person that's talking about how much they love something and how it's going to go to the moon today are the same people that are going to turn right around when the market's, doing crazy stuff, and they're going to be the first ones saying, oh, this is crap, I'm selling, I'm getting out. Or they're going to do a video saying, I sold all my stuff yesterday. We're going to see all of that. And it's because they got into something they didn't even understand or know anything about, and then they're trying to tell you what you should be doing. And I just have a real problem with it. I always say, you grow your coins, you do the research, you buy in on fundamentals, you buy in on things that you feel passionate about, that drive you, and you establish this whole passion to profit kind of thing. If you're passionate about a particular project, you're going to put the time into understanding everything there is about it. Even if you don't initially understand it. You think for a second I understood everything about Cardano initially? Hell no. And there are still a lot of things that I don't fully understand about Cardano. Okay, because it is such a complex system and there's so much to it. But that's okay. As long as I continue exposing myself to it, I consider it kind of like taking a complicated test. If I'm asked a question in a test I don't fully understand, I'll skip it and move on. And sometimes a question in another part of the test will answer the question I didn't understand that came before it, because it's filling in some blanks for me or clarifying some things. And the same goes with research. So I mean, the overall message to this video is, like I always tell you with me, I don't care what I like. I don't care what I love. I don't care what I'm super into or super passionate about. It doesn't mean you should be, because I could be completely full of shit, just like many other YouTubers out there very well could be. So that's really all I can say about that. You guys have to be very, very cautious of who you pay attention to, and who you share your time with, because ultimately some of these people are, I'm not saying it's intentionally lining you up for slaughter, but they're definitely playing on the idea that you will follow and do what they say. And that creates an unrealistic FOMO that ultimately always ends up in some sort of crash. And we need to start getting away from that, because there's enough technology in the space right now that's truly redefining the world as we know it, with underlining layers of things that are going to empower people in insanely new and exciting ways, that we don't really have to establish bullshit FOMO on these projects. We can just educate people on what these projects are capable of and why they're of interest. Because if we can do that, we can establish a true, unique, realistic use case by which people can invest if they so choose, and hold and utilize and wait, not just buy in because it's going up and then dump the shit out of it when it's at the top. To each their own. You do whatever you feel is necessary, whatever you feel is right. Just be cautious. Just be very cautious. Early on in crypto, I would watch. No, I'm not talking about anybody in particular. I'm really not talking about anybody in particular. I've seen a lot of videos. I've seen multiple videos from multiple people. As a matter of fact, I was just watching a video by a gentleman named Kaizen Crypto. And I just happened across his video, and he was doing exactly what I'm talking about right now. Not the bad stuff, but educating people. He only had like 15,000 subscribers. His video had only been seen by maybe 600 people. And I'm like, this is the kind of stuff that people need to be watching. But unfortunately, so many of you guys out there are attracted. You're like mosquitoes to a buzz light. It's like these YouTubers, all of us, we put out these bug zappers, and you all flock to them. Zit, 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 zit. And it's like, come on, guys, you got to use your heads, because this is like, it's just insane. It's insane. You got to stay away from the bug zappers and focus in rather on some of the more fundamental and educational videos that maybe they're not that exciting to watch. Maybe they're not, inspiring your need. But if you watch some of these guys that are really diving deep into the technology behind something and truly understanding it, and then sharing that information with you, that's far more valuable than some asshole saying, this project or that project's going to $100 in 3 days. It's just that's it. I mean, that's it. I think I've been working on stuff, and I've been passively watching a lot of different videos today, and the more I watch, the more I'm like, you guys are morons. Like, I don't know how anybody believes anything you say or follows you in any way. It doesn't make any sense to me. Truly. Like, I watch some of these guys and I feel dirty. I truly do. I feel dirty, which is the whole reason why I'm like, fuck it, I'm going live and I'm just going to share my thoughts. And I don't want to like point people out or anything. If anything that I've said resonates with you as it relates to any YouTubers, then maybe that's, then if the shoe fits. I don't know what else to say, but I'm really not trying to knock anybody down, but you guys just got to be really careful. You buy a cryptocurrency project at 2 cents or 5 cents, or even 80 cents, depending on the market and what's going on. You buy those projects based off of the fundamentals and the research that you put into it. If you're coming late to the game after a big pump, and then you go out and do a video about how it's going to go up, 100 times in a short period of time, you're just a douche. Like, just flat out, I have no respect for you whatsoever, because you're literally just trying to capitalize on the FOMO of something that you had absolutely nothing to do with and don't know anything about. And for that reason, I'm out, as they would say on Shark Tank. You're just another, like, you're just another stereotypical YouTube whore, in my opinion. So just be very careful. I'm gonna look at chat here, see if there are any questions or anything. Okay, let's see. Don't we understand you, bro? Better than. Oh ho ho ho. You literally bought my house for me. No, I'm not calling BitBoy a douche. I love BitBoy. No, that's not true at all. I don't know why everybody thinks I'm talking about BitBoy. I'm not talking about BitBoy. BitBoy understands a lot more about Cardano than a lot of other people out there. Like, he actually has a team that's helping him and helps with research. He's got a lot of people involved. So no, I'm not talking. BitBoy's face is not popping into my mind as I've been talking through this video. Man, my face really is itchy. Hey Crow, let's see here. This is bigger, so I'm gonna move my video screen over. Oops, eeps. I'm gonna move this. I haven't done a kind of AMA type video in quite a while, so I figure why not. Let's see here. What do we have? Explain how supply determines the price. Okay, so, you know, early on in Cardano's, early beginnings, a lot of people would complain about the total supply being so high with hundreds of billions of tokens or whatever it is, or I don't even remember the exact number. But ultimately, and everybody kept saying, when's, and I even asked the question at one point, like, when are you going to burn some of this Cardano? Because, like, do we really need all of that? And Charles would say, listen, there's no reason to burn tokens. Because if you have the use case and you've structured everything properly, burning tokens really only does like a temporary pump before it resettles back to where it was anyway. There's nothing, it doesn't do anything. It's more of a hype trick, a hype mechanism, right? But the way it, especially with staking, when you've got like 72% of all ADA in the total circulating supply delegated on staking nodes and not sitting on exchanges, really should have shaved. You're lowering the overall supply on exchanges, which means as demand grows, there's less in the order books in either direction, and there's a whole thing about it. But ultimately, the lower the supply, the lower the number of tokens that are available, which increases the price. The price of the tokens on exchanges are ultimately the ones that dictate the value for everything that is being held long term. So think about it this way, if I've got 200 people and they each want to buy one ADA, but there's only 100 ADA on the market, but there are 5 million ADA sitting in a bank vault somewhere, well, what happens? The demand from these 200 people are ultimately going to continue raising up the price of the 100 available ADA on the market. And so when you calculate market cap, you're basically saying that the price of these on the market right now, based off of its ebbs and flows, the price of that particular asset is going to dictate the valuation of everything else in existence, whether you can get to it or not. And so that's ultimately how you establish like market capitalization, and that's ultimately how supply determines the price of an asset. Hopefully that wasn't too crazy, long-winded, or confusing. I've done videos in the past on how to calculate market capitalization and all that. I mean, some of them are older, but they're there. Cryptos Chain. No, I have not watched any of your PolkaDot videos, but maybe I'll take a look at some of those. I mean, PolkaDot's pretty cool, but I ended up getting out of PolkaDot in favor of Cardano. I just did. I think PolkaDot's got a lot of cool stuff going on, but Crow, you are 100% true. Let's see here. You have allergies, hence you're itchy. There have been, I have had a little bit of allergies lately, but nothing crazy. Honest to God, a lot of it is just my facial hair tickling my face when I talk. That's really what the meat of it is. Let's see. The crypto YouTubers with the foreign accents are the most obnoxious shills. I just read the comment. I don't know what to say to that. Smash the like button. What's up, Eye of the King? Eye of the King has been helping me a lot with some video content lately. There is a link below, especially when you go to my main channel. I do have the link there for my shorts channel, because Eye of the King has just been doing fantastic work cutting up 60-second clips, editing little 60-second clips that we're putting out on the shorts channel. Right now we're publishing one a day, and it's slowly starting to build. I noticed some of those videos are getting 600-700 views, and the more comments, the more interactivity and engagement I can get on some of those videos. I think the algorithm will start picking it up, and I'd like to see that channel grow, because ultimately I have an arrangement with Eye of the King where if we start building it up and people want to start advertising on there, I'm just going to split it with them. He's been a really big Cardano supporter, and he's done a lot of really cool things on Twitter as it relates to Cardano. So yeah, let's see here. Hold on, I saw something and I'm like, oh, that was interesting. Maybe you should consider to implement super chat for questions, not to make you some money, but to make it possible to get questions through to you. Yeah, you're right about that. I don't know what happened to that functionality on my channel. It's not there anymore. I was actually looking for it, and I was thinking, like, why can't people do super chat questions anymore? Like, what happened? And it's not even a tab in my admin anymore, so I don't know what happened. And so I just never really bother. Benjamin Cowan is pure TA, good info YouTuber. I like Benjamin Cowan because he's like he's a super math whiz, and he does some really good stuff. And I've been talking about him since he had like 1,000 subscribers. So I've been trying to like pump him up. Now he's been building like his own little empire over there. So he's been doing a really good job, and I finally got him to start covering Cardano as well, because I told him I don't know if he was doing Cardano content much or not. He was mostly doing a lot of Bitcoin stuff, and I'd send him some messages. I'm like, look, man, there's a lot of people who love to know, including me, like what your thoughts are on some of the some of what you do in the charts. He's not even, I guess it is technical analysis, but it's more like long-term analysis for the most part. Are you drunk right now? Not in the least. I am really tired though. I've been very tired. I saw, I guess we're getting back to this because I'm getting tired, and I started taking like vitamin D supplements because I did a blood test and it came back. I was like really, really low on vitamin D. So now my wife got me these supplements. They're like 10,000 something vitamin D3. I don't know. They're like little see-through capsules. Hopefully that'll help. But no, I'm not on anything. I don't do drugs, folks. I never have. I experimented here and there, and but I'm not into that stuff. I don't like anything. Even honestly, lately I did start on like kind of a wine kick because my wife loves her wine, so it's kind of like, well, when in Rome. But yeah, I don't even like if I'm going out, then I'll have some drinks. But even just generally speaking, I don't like to drink unless I plan on like really getting a good buzz and partying it up. But I don't really like any of that stuff. I don't like anything that makes me feel outside of normal. Let's see. Some really obnoxiously weird comments. Crow, explain this. Why did Ethereum market cap do 100x between March till December end of year? 2017. Why can't Cardano do 100x? Logic of YouTubers these days. Maybe in a future video I'll spell it out for you. I don't necessarily, I can't tell if you're like trolling or being funny or if you actually don't understand, but I'll make note of your question and I'll address that in a future video. Can we still consider a token launch platform on ADA for the US? I guess, what do you mean by token launch platform on ADA? You mean like the ability to create your native assets and things like that? I assume that that'll be this month because I know that it's already on the flight and all that. It's being tested. Like people are using it on the flight wallet. So I don't think it's going to be very long. It'll probably come out this month, and people are going to be creating shit coins all over Cardano with crazy names and things like that. As a matter of fact, I'll show the stuff maybe tomorrow, but somebody did create a crow coin and then sent them all to me. So I thought that was actually really cool. So I didn't have it set up for this video because it's not really what I wanted to do today. But you know, it's actually pretty cool stuff. Crypto Crow bot on Kraken. I would like to, but I don't know if that's coming soon. We finally just got Binance and it's been running really smooth on Binance US. So I would love to have my bot running with you know, with a lot more pairs, but okay, I don't even, somebody's just kind of trolling weird stuff. I'm assuming it's like a teenager. Can you do a show on how to make ADA tokens? At some point, I'm sure I will when that launches, but I'm not doing it by command line. The dude called BitBoy a Cardano expert today on a video. I was like, WTF. Let's just say I know who you're talking about, and I don't watch that individual. That's all I'm gonna say. BitBoy says his biggest holding is now ADA. Good. I mean, honestly, you know, I don't know what else to say to that other than good. Would you possibly consider doing Crow Traded? I don't know what that means. When will be Coinbase listing? I wish I knew. I don't even think Charles really knows. You know, everybody asks him, but I don't even think Charles actually knows when Coinbase is going to happen. I'd like to think that it will be happening, hopefully sooner than later, but I don't think anybody truly knows but Coinbase what their plan is for listing Cardano. And man, I really am just going crazy. I probably do totally look like some blowhead or something. Kaizen is awesome. Yeah, I was really impressed. I don't think I'd seen any of his videos recently or before, and I saw the one video he did and I'm like, you know what, this looks like a good dude, and he's putting out some good information for people. The problem is that so many people just really gravitate to crazy Moonbois stuff, and you know, it's just, I don't know, everybody wants to I think this is kind of part of the problem with YouTube right now, is that there are so many new people entering the space that don't know their ass from a hole in the ground, quite frankly, and then they go in and they buy something, and then they gravitate to any videos that are gonna like, oh, I just bought this shit coin that doesn't do anything, and it's actually a utility token for a sanitary system in Zimbabwe, or I don't know, and they want to be told that it's going to go to the moon. And so it's like nobody actually talks about fundamentals, because typically there aren't any for stuff, and people are just so used to that. And it's like, no, listen, since 2017, we've had an abundance of different projects that have continued development. Some of them haven't. Some of these 2017 projects went to crap and have done absolutely nothing. And Dent is up 300% in the last 30 days. Well, that's very good. Good to know. But everybody just kind of wants that encouragement that, attaboy, yeah, we're going to the moon. Everything's going to be great. Cardano's not going to $100 this year. I mean, that's just all there is to it. It's not going to happen. Is it safe to buy into Cardano at the current price? And someone else I watched said that Cardano would never do any more than $30. Your thoughts on that? I can't say that it won't ever go up higher than $30 because it could, I guess. I mean, there's definitely potential for that to happen. But there's just so many different variables that would need to come into play for that to take place. Because it's ultimately the ebbs and flow of supply and demand. Because like even people that bought in at, $1.40, well, they have a sale price. They have a price that they're like, okay, I've made enough money. I'm willing to sell this. And they can be staking it, delegating it, running a node. It doesn't really matter. Everybody has a price that they're willing to get out of a position. So there's always going to be that ebb and flow to a market, right? So it's just, it's one of those things to where the louder the new Cardano milestones get in terms of adoption, use, partnerships, the different protocols and things that'll run, and all the different things associated with the blockchain, the louder that continues to get and the more frequent that noise gets, and it's not noise, but like updates and announcements and things, the less likely somebody holding a particular asset is going to dilute or liquidate or get out, because they're like, this could go up again tomorrow. It could go up again tomorrow. As soon as that kind of stuff starts to subside, that's when people start looking for an exit door, if they're planning on exiting at all. Some people are buying Cardano because they expect to hold it for the next 5 years and just basically delegate it and earn passive income throughout the bear market. If let's just say, like I just talked about in yesterday's video, let's just say Cardano were to somehow rise up to like $8, drop 75%, and then settle down at a new low of $3. Everybody, I mean, think about it. Based off of how many tokens you have, you can basically potentially retire off of just staking your Cardano and then passively, selling, if you wanted to, your passive rewards from staking. At that kind of price point, how many ADA tokens are you getting every epoch based off of what you have? Or you just continue accumulating and then you retire in 5 years. It just depends on the individual's goal and the reason behind getting into the project to begin with. I mean, that's really what it all boils down to. But yeah, I don't know. Lark is a Cardano hater. Oh, he must be an Ethereum bag holder then. I don't watch Lark at all, honestly. I don't have any problems with him necessarily, but I don't know why. I've just never gravitated to his content. Okay. Where do I stake Cardano for passive income? Well, download the Daedalus wallet and click on delegation, and you click the little icon on there and it'll show you, like 1,500 different staking nodes. Just pick one, click delegate, confirm, and you're done. Crow, wouldn't you think makes more sense for Coinbase to list after the IPO? After IPO, they list more FOMO. Possibly, but didn't they already? I thought they already had their IPO, unless I'm mistaken. I have a video in my Cardano playlist, like how to buy and stake Cardano. So. Crow, I can't exchange Ethereum for VeChain on my Atomic wallet. Why? I don't know. I don't use Atomic wallet. I did for a little while, but then I just started reading about all the problems people were having with it, and I just said, okay, I'm not using that for anything at all anymore. I mostly used it for fun stuff, but yeah, I do need to figure out, because I see a lot of you guys posting the same question over and over and over and over, and it almost looks like spam. It's kind of just to like, hey, we'll see this. When are you going to see it? I'll just keep. I got to find out when I can do the. I got to figure out what's up with the. You know, people being able to like tip a buck and like their question light up, and they only have to do it once. That would be a lot easier. Okay. Do you expect dApps right away after Goguen? Yeah, I do. I think once Goguen, because there are so many different groups that are building things right now, and they're using things like Plutus Playground, and you know, there are a lot of development tools right now that are enabling people to create and develop on that blockchain, on Cardano. And then once everything goes to mainnet, we're going to start seeing announcement after announcement after announcement after announcement. I mean, there's going to be so much stuff. And honestly, I almost look at Goguen as the start of Ethereum's death by 1,000 cuts. I mean, you can quote me on that, because I think that once Goguen launches and we start seeing a lot of this stuff, it's just going to be one after another after another. It's going to be this dApp, this you know, NFT solution, this DeFi solution, all these things. They're going to be just they're going to migrate over to Cardano, man. I mean, it's just, it would be nonsensical for them to not do that. I mean, honestly, with the fees and as expensive as it is and just all of the bloat and everything, it just makes a lot more sense. So yeah, I do expect Goguen to spawn a lot of, like I said, I think it's going to become Ethereum's death by 1,000 cuts as soon as Goguen launches. Are you sad, man? Why? No, I'm not sad. I'm not sad at all. I see stuff sometimes that really does annoy me, and like I say, I call it how I see it. I don't, you know, that's why I don't call anybody out. You know, I always try not to judge people, especially if I haven't lived in their shoes. I don't know what their what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know what their overall goals are, but just some people just kind of rub me the wrong way with the way they are. Some people look really shady. Some people come off as very arrogant and shady. And let's face it, I do happen to know who some of these guys are, and I have no interest in watching anything they have to say, because I just think they're full of it. Crow, do you own any Ethereum at all? Yes, I do have some. I don't think, I mean, there's too much institutional interest in Ethereum. It's not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere. And I do think in time it will get cleaned up more and more. I just think that people that are investing and buying into Ethereum right now, they're buying into a hype train. It feels like kind of an empty hype train. I just don't see it. I don't know. We'll have to see, but I don't know. Jason, how's the Crow node doing? You get everything running good? Yes, my developer, and we got everything updated for Mary yesterday, and that was smooth, and it's the number of blocks is starting to progress and get bigger. So yeah, the Crow 2 should be moving pretty smooth from now on. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and call it here. I appreciate you guys. I just wanted to kind of send this message out, just because I you know, just be very cautious. That's all. Be very cautious. Don't be afraid to spend an entire afternoon really diving deep into a project's fundamentals and really get to know it. You know, you wouldn't marry somebody that you didn't know a hell of a lot about, would you? Like, would you marry somebody just because a neighbor said they would make your life amazing? No, I don't think so. And I think that, you know, your commitment to cryptocurrency investing should be just as serious in a lot of ways. You know, just be very, very cautious and careful. So until next time, guys, crow your coins. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you again very soon.